good morning everyone. Hope you all are fit and fine. Today is your English literature class and today we are going to read the new chapter, the Mr. Sharp's Fish. So, open the page number. Then we have the page number 87. Open the page number 87. Page number 87. So Sharp's fish. So Sharp loved fish. He did not keep them as pets. He liked eating them. So Sharp worked hard when he had some money. He always went to the market. He bought fish for his dinner. Sheena, Sheena, he shouted when he got home one day and look at this fine fish I have bought from the market. What a beauty! He held the fish up so his wife could see. Please cook it and we shall eat it for dinner tomorrow, said Mr. Sharp, smiling. As you can see in the picture, look at this fine fish I have bought from the market. What a beauty! So, as you know, in the Mr. Sharp's fish, Mr. Sharp loved fish. He did not keep them as pet. He liked eating them, and Mr. Sharp worked hard when he had some money. He always went to the market and bought fish for his dinner. So, as we know, he shouted when he got home one day, and look at this fine fish I have bought from the market. What a beauty! Now, come on the page number 88. Page number 88. This one. Page number is 88. Okay. Early the next day, Mr. Sharp went to work as usual. Sheena, his wife, finished the housework and then cooked the fish. Soon, the smell of fried fish filled the house. The smell crept out into the garden, gently drifted down the road and entered the houses of Sheena's friends. Two of them came to see her, not because of the smell, but because of they wanted to find out if she was well and happy. Oh, how nice of you to call, exclaimed Sheena when she saw her friends do stay and have some lunch. How kind, said the first friend. Are you sure? And what have you cooked today? Asked the other. Not fish by any chance. Yes, it is fish, but that is for my husband, said Sheena. Then, after a moment, she added, how did you guess I had fried some fish for lunch? Doesn't it smell wonderful? Sheena and her friends sat down to eat. Half an hour later, there were three empty plates on. First, what you will do, you have to just underline the difficult word, explain to speak or cry out loudly and suddenly. Then, as we know, exclaimed. Okay, now, as we know, early the next day, Mr. Sharp went to work as usual. Sheena, his wife, finished the housework and then cooked the fish. Soon, the smell of fried fish filled the house and filled the house and then soon the smell of the fried fish filled the house. The smell crept out into the garden. Then two of them came to see her, not because of the smell but because they wanted to find out if she was well and happy. So, oh, how nice of you to call, exclaimed Sheena when she saw her friends do stay and have some lunch. So, Sheena and her friends sat down to eat. Half an hour later, there were three empty plates on the table. So, put the finger on the book. Okay, there was only an empty dish and plenty of bones. All the fish was gone. That evening, Mr. Sharp hurried home and I'm ready for dinner. Dear wife, he said, rubbing his hands together and sitting at the table. What a lovely smell! I'm starving. She now served her husband some noodles and boiled vegetables. As you can see in the picture, some noodles and boiled vegetables. Mr. Sharp looked more surprised. What is this? He said, picking up a noodle with his fork. As you can see in the picture, he said, picking up a noodle with his fork. And what are these? So, okay. Then first of all you have to underline the difficult word. Then first one is starving, suffering from hunger, starving. Then surprise, feeling or showing surprise. Okay. Now, as we know, on the table, because they all, as we know, there were three empty plates on the table. There was only also as empty dish and plenty of bones. All the fish was gone. I'm ready for, because as we know that evening Mr. Sharp hurried home and I'm ready for the dinner. Dear wife, he said, rubbing his hands together and sitting at the table. And what a lovely smell! I'm starving. Sheena served her husband some noodles and boiled vegetables. Mr. Sharp looked more surprised. What is this? He said, picking up a noodle with his fork. And what are these? As you saw in the picture as well, page number 90. Page number 90. He snapped the boiled vegetables with his knife and looked at his wife. Noodles and vegetables, mumbled Sheena, suddenly finding something interesting to look at on the floor. This is what we are having for dinner tonight. But where is the fish I bought yesterday? Asked Mr. Sharp angrily. Oh, the fish, that naughty cat. At it replied Sheena, bending her head over her plate. Mr. Sharp turned red. He gripped his knife and fork so tightly that his knuckles turned white, but he said nothing. The following week, Mr. Sharp came home with another large fish. A fish for my dinner tomorrow, he said to his wife, and keep the cat out of the kitchen. But when Mr. Sharp got home the following day, his wife once again had no fish to give him for dinner. Mr. Sharp turned purple, and just as he was, stepped just a sharp instrument into something. First, you have to just underline the difficult word. Okay, now as we know, the noodles and vegetables, mumbled Sheena, suddenly finding something interesting to look at on the floor, because she knows about it who ate that fish, because of as we know, her friends, they all ate that fish. This is what we are having for dinner tonight, as finding something interesting to look at on the floor, and this is what we are having for dinner tonight. But where is the fish I bought yesterday? Asked Mr. Sharp angrily, because as we know he was very hungry to eat that fish, and he was expecting that when he went to the house, he ate that fish. But where is the fish I bought yesterday? Asked Mr. Sharp angrily. Oh, the fish that naughty cat ate it, replied Sheena, bending her head over her plate. Mr. Sharp turned red. He gripped his knife and fork so tightly that his knuckles turned white, but he said nothing. The following week, Mr. Sharp came home with another large fish. A fish for my dinner tomorrow, he said to his wife, and keep the cat out of the kitchen. So, but when Mr. Sharp got home following day, his wife once again had no fish to give him for dinner, because as we know, her friends at that fish, but he making that Mr. Sharp turn purple, and just as he was. So come on the page number 91. Page number 91. This one. Okay, going to exploit, Sheena cried. What can I do? That naughty cat ate the fish. So Sharp was very, very angry. Indeed, the cat ate it. He whispered, are you sure? Yes, replied Sheena hurriedly. The cat took it. Mr. Sharp jumped up from the table. I shall deal with that cat right now, he said, and he rushed out of the dining room, and he looked all over the house and in the garden. He looked down the road, but the cat was nowhere to be found. Mr. Sharp returned to the dining table and sadly ate his dinner in silence. That night, Mr. Sharp had a nightmare. He dreamt that he was a very large fish. The next week, Mr. Sharp brought home a huge fish. And look at this beauty, he said, placing it carefully on the kitchen table. It weighs exactly too close. Now don't let the cat get it. I shall have it for my dinner tomorrow. First, what you will do, you have to just underline the difficult word, explode and nightmare. Explode means blow up or burst. Then nightmare. Okay, now on the page number 91, going to spread, the Sheena cried, "What can I do?" That naughty cat ate that fish because he was expecting when he reached home, he ate that fish. But Sheena was saying that naughty cat ate the fish. So Shark was very, very angry. The cat ate it. He whispered, "Are you sure?" Yes, replied Sheena hurriedly. The cat took it. Mr. Sharp jumped up from the table, and I shall deal with that cat right now, he said, and he rushed out of the dining room. He looked all over the house and in the garden. They looked down the road, but the cat was nowhere to be found. Mr. Sharp returned to the dining table and sadly ate his dinner in silence. So that night, Mr. Sharp had a nightmare. He dreamt that he was very large fish. The next week, Mr. Sharp bought home a huge fish. Look at this beauty, he said, placing it carefully on the kitchen table. It weighs exactly too close. Now don't let the cat get it. I shall have it for my dinner tomorrow. So come on the page number 92. Page number 92, this one. Okay, put the finger on the book. Sheena cooked the fish, but again her friends came, they ate up all the fish. The next day, there was no tasty fried fish for Mr. Shah. Where is the fish? He asked angrily. That naughty cat ate it, replied Sheena. This time, Mr. Shah found the cat. He picked it up gently and took it to his wife. Come with me, please, he said to his wife. Mr. Sharp marched out of the house carrying the cat. His wife followed closely behind. Mr. Sharp entered the shop next door. He went straight to the vegetable section and found a weighing machine, as you can see in the picture. He went straight to the vegetable section and found a weighing machine. He put the cat on the weighing machine and bent over to peer at the dial, as you can see. So the cat sat on the weighing machine. It was wondering what was going on. The shopkeeper, come on the page number 92. The shopkeeper came to see what was going on. He stood there with a puzzled look at on his face. Mr. Shaw pointed to the dial on the weighing machine. He turned to his wife and said, "Look, what does that tell you?" So, as we know, Sheena cooked the fish. Again, Mr. Sharp bought the fish from the market. Now Sheena cooked the fish, but again her friends came and they ate up all the fish. And what she was just making to hide that type of thing, they were just saying the naughty cat ate that fish. The next day there was no tasty fried fish for Mr. Sharp. So where is the fish? He asked angrily. That naughty cat ate it, replied Sheena. So this time Mr. Sharp found the cat. He picked it up gently and took it to his wife and come with me, please, he said to his wife. So Mr. Sharp marched out of the house carrying the cat. His wife followed closely behind. So Sharp entered the shop next door. He went straight to the vegetable section and found a weighing machine. He put the cat on the weighing machine and bent over to peer at the dial. The cat sat on the weighing machine. It was wondering what was going on. As we know, the shopkeeper came to see, okay, what was going on. He stood there with a puzzled look on his wife. Mr. Sharp pointed to the dial, as you have seen in the picture on the weighing machine. He turned to his wife and said, "Look, what does that tell you?" Okay, now come on the page number 93. Page number 93. What do you mean, dear? Asked his puzzled wife. As you can see in the picture, okay, what is going on. So, what is the weight? Asked Mr. Sharp. Sheena stated the dial. It says too close. She said, yes, it does, said Mr. Sharp. My fish weighted exactly too close. This cat weighs too close too. You said that my fish is here. Then where is my cat? Sheena had no answer. Because why Sheena don't have an answer? Because as we know, the reality, what happened at that time, because who ate that fish? The cat ate that fish, and she was just who ate that fish? The Sheena's friend ate that fish, but she was just hiding it, and she was just saying the cat ate that fish. But what do you mean, dear? Asked his puzzled wife. What is the weight? Asked Mr. Shah. The Sheena stated the dial and it says too close. She said, yes, you say that my fish is here. He was just pointing like this. And then, where is my cat? Sheena had no answer. Okay, now after this, we have the bookwork related to this lesson, page number 95. Words and meaning. Which statements are true? First of all, you have to just read this whole chapter by yourself. Then you can easily write over here true or false. The friends came when they smelled the fish. The fish was cooked for Mr. Sharp's dinner. Is it true or is it false? You will just write by yourself. The cat waited the same as the fish. Mr. Sharp liked noodles. So after this, is there any confusion related to this chapter, Mr. Sharp's fish? You can ask for WhatsApp and you can give the reply as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.